Ready for a deep dive?
Always.
All right, well, today we're diving into the world of Pythagoras.
Ooh, fun.
We're going way beyond, like, the basic geometry.
Yeah.
This is using Thomas Stanley's book,
Okay.
Pythagoras, His Life and Teachings,
Okay.
to uncover some secrets about this legendary figure.
Sounds good. Ready.
Okay, so we're going to explore his philosophy, his intriguing society, and even delve into some mysteries surrounding his life.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So let's start with the man himself. Even his origins are kind of mysterious.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Stanley's book highlights how we don't have a clear picture of when or where Pythagoras was born.
Wow.
There are even accounts suggesting he might have been the son of a deity.
Oh, wow.
Some ancient sources describe his extraordinary qualities even as a young boy.
So they thought he was, like, divinely descended.
Yeah, because of his unusual abilities.
Wow.
Yeah, it really does sound like straight out of a myth.
Right.
But beyond those fantastical claims, Stanley reveals that Pythagoras traveled extensively, studying with renowned figures like Thales,
I've heard that name.
and journeying to places like Egypt, Babylon, and India.
Wow. All over the place.
It makes you think about how these different influences shaped his unique
Yeah.
philosophical and mathematical
Yeah.
perspectives.
You could definitely see those threads in his teachings.
Yeah.
It's like all these ancient cultures all kind of blended together.
Yeah, a fusion of wisdom gleaned from across the ancient world.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of wisdom, let's move on to the Pythagorean Academy at Crotona.
All right.
This wasn't just a school. It was a really unique blend of science, religion, and brotherhood.
Oh, wow.
Stanley describes a rigorous admissions process,
Okay.
including a 5-year vow of silence for potential students.
5 years.
Can you imagine?
I can't even imagine, like, a day without talking.
I know, me neither.
Wow.
It really makes you think about what kind of secrets and wisdom were shared
Right.
within those walls.
Definitely.
Stanley also mentions some unusual practices.
Okay, like what?
Communal living restricted diets,
Okay.
and a huge emphasis on self-mastery.
Wow. They sound like they were way ahead of their time.
Yeah, pioneers of like mindfulness and self-improvement.
And this was centuries ago.
The centuries ahead of their time.
Wow.
And Stanley reveals that music, dance, and even color therapy played a role
Real.
in their philosophy.
I never would have thought of that.
They believed that these were tools for harmonizing the soul
Wow.
and achieving balance.
So it was much more holistic
Yeah.
than just
Yeah.
numbers and equations.
It was like they used these various methods to try to understand the world and our place in it.
Makes sense.
Absolutely. They recognized the interconnectedness of all things,
Yeah.
both seen and unseen,
Right.
which leads us to their core philosophy, the power of numbers.
Okay.
They believed that numbers were more than just symbols.
Okay.
They were the fundamental building blocks of reality,
Wow.
almost like a code to unlock the universe's secrets.
That's a really cool way to think about it.
Stanley describes concepts like odd-limited and even unlimited, relating to perfection and imperfection.
Oh.
The Tetractes, the number 4,
Okay.
held immense significance,
All right.
representing the soul,
Wow.
the elements,
Mm.
and even the structure of the universe.
So they found all that meaning just in that number.
Imagine finding that profound meaning just from a simple number.
Yeah.
It's remarkable how these ideas have resonated for centuries,
Right.
influencing mathematicians,
Yeah.
philosophers,
Yeah.
even mystics.
It makes you wonder if we've even uncovered all the meaning yet.
Right. Do those numerical concepts hold even deeper symbolic meanings that we haven't fully grasped yet?
That's a good question.
It definitely makes you think twice about taking math for granted.
Right.
But I think this deep dive wouldn't be complete without mentioning one of the most captivating aspects of Pythagoras' legacy, something that speaks to this idea of hidden meanings.
Okay, are you talking about the harmony of the spheres?
Yes.
The cosmic symphony we can't hear?
Exactly. It's fascinating how Pythagoras connected mathematical ratios not only to music, but to the structure of the universe.
Okay.
And Stanley shares this story about how he found inspiration for this concept
Oh, really?
in the sounds of a blacksmith's hammer.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I know, it's a great example of how he was tuned in to a different frequency,
Right.
finding music and mathematical order in unexpected places.
What other hidden harmonies might be out there?
Yeah.
Just waiting to be discovered.
Speaking of hidden things, Stanley also delves into their views on the soul.
Okay.
They believed in its immortality and its transmigration after death,
Transmigration?
almost like a cosmic dance of souls.
Oh, the soul's journey through various forms.
Yeah, the concept of metempsychosis.
Yeah, okay.
And Stanley mentions some incredible accounts, like Pythagoras claiming to remember past lives.
Wow.
One story even suggests that he recalled being a warrior named Euphorbus
Wow.
during the Trojan War.
No way.
I know, it sounds incredible.
That's amazing.
There's even an account of him recognizing a shield from the Trojan War
What?
hanging in a temple.
Seriously?
Yeah.
These stories might seem far-fetched, but
Yeah.
they reflect that core belief in the soul's enduring nature
Right.
and its continuous journey
Yeah.
and this profound interconnectedness of all living things.
Okay, but if we don't remember our past lives, what's the point?
That's a good question.
Like, does it even influence who we are now?
Well, the Pythagoreans believe that even if we don't consciously remember those past lives,
Okay.
the experiences and the choices that our soul made
Yeah.
leave imprints and shape our inclinations, our talents, even our weaknesses in this life.
So almost like a hidden karmic blueprint
Yeah, exactly.
influencing our path.
It makes you think, huh?
What kind of blueprint my soul might be carrying?
I know, it's fascinating.
And this belief in metempsychosis wasn't just a theoretical concept.
Right.
It had practical implications for how they lived their lives.
Oh, really?
Every action, every choice would influence their soul's journey. Okay.
Through this cycle of rebirth.
So they really believed that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And they adopted a unique lifestyle,
Mm.
including specific dietary restrictions.
What did they eat?
Well, Stanley mentions that they avoided beans, certain types of fish,
Mm.
and even meat from animals that weren't sacrificed.
Oh, wow.
For religious purposes?
That's definitely not your average diet.
It's not your average diet plan.
It's easy to dismiss this as just like weird, ancient stuff.
Right.
But I think it's important to understand why they made those choices.
Yeah.
It wasn't arbitrary.
Right.
They believed that certain foods could hinder spiritual development
Yeah.
or cloud the mind.
So for them, food wasn't just fuel.
Right.
It was something that could affect the essence of your being.
It affects not just your body, but also your soul.
Exactly. It all ties back to that theme of living in harmony with the cosmos,
Right.
recognizing our interconnectedness with everything.
What we eat, how we act at all has an effect.
Yeah, it makes you think twice about what you put on your plate. It really does.
Speaking of interesting choices, Stanley highlights their use of symbols and cryptic sayings.
Oh, I love those.
Like, don't stir the fire with a sword.
Oh, yeah.
Or step not over a balance.
And don't eat the heart.
Oh, wow. That one's intense.
I know, right?
What was the thinking behind that one?
Well, it's believed to symbolize the importance of compassion and avoiding cruelty. The heart represents the core of a being,
Okay.
and consuming it was seen as taking on its negative aspects.
Oh, so you don't want to take that in.
Right, but what fascinates me is how they used symbols as gateways to these deeper
Yeah.
moral and philosophical truths.
Like mental shortcuts to remind them of core principles.
Exactly.
Like a little whispered piece of
in
wisdom.
this world full of distractions.
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
What's that?
It's like every aspect of their lives, from their studies to their diet to their cryptic sayings, was geared towards this pursuit of harmony.
Harmony.
Harmony within themselves, harmony with others, harmony with the cosmos.
That's beautiful.
It's a really inspiring concept.
It is. It's like they created a blueprint for living a meaningful life.
Yeah.
Guided by balance and virtue.
And interconnectedness.
Yeah.
Speaking of blueprints, Stanley highlights the golden verses as a core summary of their teachings.
Oh, yeah. The golden verses.
They're supposed to offer guidance on virtue, self-control, piety, friendship,
Wow.
and how to live a life worthy of our divine heritage.
It's like their pocket guide
Yeah.
to Pythagorean philosophy.
Passed down through generations.
Cool.
They sound like a must-read.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm curious about another aspect of Pythagoras' legacy that Stanley touches on. His political views.
Oh, yeah.
His ideas about governance were this fascinating blend of philosophy and practicality.
Okay.
From what I gathered, Pythagoras believed that society should be structured based on wisdom and virtue,
Interesting.
just like the harmonious order of the universe.
Almost like he was envisioning a society led by philosopher kings.
That's a key theme. But before we dive into the political realm, I think it'd be helpful to take a closer look at how his ideas about cosmic harmony actually influenced his views on governance.
That sounds like a good place to start.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, let's explore how this concept of a harmonious universe translated into his vision for a harmonious society.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
So we were talking about how Pythagoras's ideas about a harmonious universe
Yeah.
influenced his vision for a harmonious society.
Right.
It's fascinating that he didn't just talk about it.
Yeah.
He tried to actually put these ideas into practice.
He did. His community, the Pythagorean Brotherhood, was structured
Yeah.
to reflect these principles of cosmic harmony.
Okay.
They lived communally, they shared resources, and they dedicated themselves to knowledge and virtue.
So it was like a mini utopia.
It was like a microcosm
Okay.
of the ideal society that he envisioned.
Instead of just theorizing about it, they were living it. Stanley even mentions that Pythagoras advocated for a system of governance based on meritocracy and wisdom.
I can see that.
He believed that those with the most knowledge and virtue should be the ones leading,
Interesting.
not those who were simply wealthy or powerful.
It's a pretty radical idea for the time.
Yeah. Can you imagine a society where leadership was based not on inheritance or social status,
Yeah.
but on like a demonstrated commitment to knowledge and ethical behavior?
Like a philosopher king.
It makes you think about the qualities we value in leaders today.
That's true.
Do we prioritize wisdom and virtue?
Yeah.
Or are we drawn to charisma and power?
That is the question.
It's a question worth pondering,
It is.
especially in our current world.
For sure.
And it connects to another important aspect of Pythagorean thought, the importance of education.
Oh, yeah.
He saw education as the key to both personal and societal transformation.
So if you want to create a society based on wisdom and virtue,
Right.
you have to cultivate those qualities in its citizens.
It's like planting the seeds for a better future.
I like that.
Stanley points out that their curriculum wasn't just about, like, memorizing facts and figures.
Right.
It was a much more holistic approach,
What do you mean?
encompassing mathematics,
Okay.
music philosophy, even physical training.
Oh.
They believed that a harmonious soul resided in a harmonious body and vice versa.
Interesting.
It was about developing the whole person,
Okay.
recognizing that knowledge and virtue require both intellectual and physical discipline.
So we're not just minds or bodies.
Right,
We're this complex interplay of both.
exactly.
That makes sense.
But let's get back to politics. I'm curious about whether Pythagoras' ideas had any real-world impact.
Okay.
Did any societies try to implement his model of governance?
Well, there's no evidence that any society fully embraced his political vision. But his influence can be seen in the city of Crotona,
Okay.
where he established his academy.
Right.
He gained a significant following there, even among the leaders.
Stanley mentions that many Crotonians were drawn to his teachings on virtue, justice, and harmony.
Yeah. They saw it as a path to a better society.
It's interesting how those ancient ideas still resonate with us today.
Definitely.
This idea of a society governed by fairness and wisdom.
Yeah. And a shared commitment to the common good.
But things didn't always go smoothly for the Pythagoreans.
What happened?
Their growing influence in Crotona eventually led to conflict and political upheaval.
Oh, no.
Not everyone was happy with their ideas.
Right.
Their strict lifestyle and their communal practices were seen as a threat
The threat?
by some
By who?
to traditional values and social structures.
Okay.
They were accused of elitism and of trying to undermine the established power dynamics.
It seems that even in ancient Greece, change wasn't always welcomed.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
And this tension ultimately led to violence and persecution.
Against the Pythagoreans.
It's a reminder that even the most enlightened ideas can face resistance
Yeah.
when they challenge the status quo.
Especially when those ideas threaten the interests of those in power.
That's a really sobering thought.
It is, but it's also a testament to the power of ideas.
How so?
The fact that they were persecuted
Yeah.
suggests that their teachings were seen as a real threat.
Yeah.
A force for change that couldn't be ignored.
So what can we learn from Pythagoras's political vision, even though it wasn't fully realized?
Well, I think the most important lesson is that the pursuit of a just and harmonious society
Yeah.
is an ongoing process,
Okay.
one that requires constant vigilance and a willingness to challenge injustice.
Wherever we find it.
Exactly.
And it seems that this pursuit requires individuals to embody those qualities of wisdom, virtue, and harmony,
Yeah.
even when they face opposition.
It's a reminder that change doesn't just happen on a societal level.
Yeah.
It starts with each of us.
An inside-out approach
Exactly.
to creating a better world.
And that brings us back to the golden verses, which Stanley highlights as a guidebook for living a life.
Yeah.
In accordance with these Pythagorean principles.
The golden verses, they
Yeah.
sound like a fascinating blend of philosophy and practical wisdom.
They are, And they offer some intriguing insights into how the Pythagoreans saw the connection
Yeah.
between personal transformation and societal change.
Okay.
It's almost like they believed that the journey toward a just and harmonious world begins with our own efforts.
To cultivate those qualities within ourselves.
Exactly.
It's not just about changing the systems around us. It's
Okay.
about changing ourselves.
And the golden verses provide some guidance
Yeah.
on how to navigate that journey.
I'm definitely intrigued. Let's dive into those golden verses and see what wisdom we can uncover.
Okay, let's begin by looking at some of the key verses that focus on self-knowledge and self-mastery.
Okay.
Remember, for the Pythagoreans, these were the foundations
Okay.
of a virtuous and harmonious life.
Okay, let's do it.
Right.
Okay, so we're about to explore these golden verses,
Yeah.
which sound like a treasure trove of wisdom.
They really are. Like, imagine a collection of concise sayings
Okay.
packed with insights into living a fulfilling life. Almost like ancient tweets, but with a lot more depth.
Ancient tweets. I love it.
Right.
So what kind of things did these golden verses emphasize?
Well, a lot of them center around self-knowledge and self-mastery,
Okay.
which the Pythagoreans believed were essential for a virtuous life.
Right.
There's one that says,
Yeah.
above all things, reverence yourself.
Hmm.
It's a powerful reminder to treat ourselves with respect,
Yeah.
to cultivate our inner world,
Yeah.
to strive for excellence in all that we do.
That's such a powerful idea, especially in our modern world,
I know, right?
where we're constantly bombarded with all these external pressures and expectations.
Exactly. It's easy to lose sight of our own inner compass.
Yeah, that sense of self-worth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And another verse advises,
Okay.
let not sleep fall upon thy eyes till thou hast thrice reviewed the transactions of the past day.
Wow.
It's encouraging this practice of daily reflection
Hmm.
to really examine our actions and our motivations.
So we can learn and grow
Exactly.
from our experiences.
Yeah, it's like a nightly check-in with your soul.
I like that.
Yeah.
Like asking yourself, did I live up to my values today?
Yeah.
What can I do better
Yeah.
tomorrow?
Exactly. And this emphasis on self-awareness and self-improvement wasn't just about personal growth.
Right.
The Pythagoreans believed that by cultivating these qualities,
Yeah.
we could contribute to a more harmonious society.
That ripple effect again.
Exactly.
Personal transformation leading to collective transformation.
Yeah, like be the change you want to see in the world.
The golden verses offer like a roadmap for that inner work.
Exactly.
It's amazing how these ancient teachings can still be so relevant today.
I know, it's incredible, right?
They speak to those timeless human desires
For sure.
for meaning,
Yeah.
purpose, connection.
And they remind us that the journey towards wisdom and virtue is ongoing,
Right. It's a process.
something we cultivate throughout our lives.
And it seems like the golden verses provide a framework for that cultivation,
They do.
a set of principles and practices to guide us along the way.
They encourage us to live with intention, to act with integrity,
Yeah.
and to seek knowledge and understanding.
Both within ourselves and in the world.
Exactly.
It's inspiring to think that even thousands of years later,
I know.
we can still draw wisdom from these teachings.
It's amazing.
They offer a glimpse into a way of life that valued harmony, wisdom, and the pursuit of a life well lived.
And that's the beauty of exploring these ancient wisdom traditions.
Yeah.
They offer those timeless insights
Yeah.
that can still guide and inspire us today.
Well, this deep dive has given me a lot to think about.
Go too.
From the mysteries surrounding Pythagoras' life to his groundbreaking mathematical discoveries
Yeah.
to his profound philosophical insights.
I agree.
It's clear that his legacy continues to resonate.
Across the centuries.
He was a true visionary,
He was.
a pioneer, who not only expanded our understanding of the universe,
Right.
but challenged us to live more meaningful and harmonious lives.
Yeah, I think that's the most important takeaway from all of this.
Right. Pythagoras' teachings weren't just about these abstract concepts. It was about living a life in alignment with those concepts.
Yeah.
A life guided by wisdom, virtue, and a deep reverence.
For the interconnectedness of all things.
Beautifully said.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Pythagoras,
Yeah.
I encourage you to explore his ideas further.
Yes.
Delve into the golden verses.
Yeah.
And see how these ancient teachings might spark new insights and inspiration in your own life.
I know I will. And for all our listeners out there, keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep exploring those timeless truths that connect us all. Until next time, keep diving deep